Really, Molly, is it that simple? 2 steps to help your attorney and make my life easier as an employee? Come on, really?
Welcome to another episode of the Office Altering Hire and Empower with Molly McGrath podcast. If you're a returning listener, welcome back. If you're a first-time listener, hopefully you'll become a long-time listener. As always, I'm your show host, Molly McGrath, founder of Hiring and Empowering Solutions and creator of this revolutionary podcast. You can check us out at hiringandempowering.com.
We've taken every course out there. We've done management and leadership. We've done quarterly retreats. We've done this EOS thing, this traction thing there, and things have not changed. Well, yeah, it is truly that easy. Let me tell you, step one, whoever's listening to this, maybe you're outsourced marketing, maybe you're in-house marketing, paralegal, associate attorney, maybe you're just the receptionist and you believe that your job is just to show up and do what you're told at the end of the day. Here's the deal. If you're working for an entrepreneur and a solopreneur, or maybe even a big firm, here's one way, step number one, for you to help your attorney and make your life easier. Go to your attorney and sit down with them and say, maybe it's in your weekly team meeting, maybe it's in your daily huddle, maybe you don't have individual time with them, and go to them and ask them, what are you not seeing that you wish you were seeing, to give you full faith and confidence that us as a team, me in my role, that we have your back, that you can have full faith and confidence that you can let go of this. And be quiet and listen to what they say. And it might not just be about your role, but maybe you're the person sitting there holding space for them. Make sure you have a pen and a paper. Make sure that you're going in there. Maybe you're catching them off guard at that time. Maybe they say, I need a minute to think about it. Maybe they start going on a tangent about marketing or about the legal assistant or the law clerks or about whatever it is, regardless of what seat you sit in. My recommendation is you say, keep going, give it to me. I'm going to take note of it, and I really want to give you that space to be able to dump this right now. I see your calendar. I see you're in back-to-back meetings. I see when you leave here at 5 o'clock that you have soccer and you have dance and you have what have you, and you're probably not getting home until 9 o'clock, and you have a mediation at 9 a.m. tomorrow, and I know that you probably are not feeling prepared for it. Give it to me now and set a timer. Give them 5-10 minutes to dump it out. Right then and there, they'll have the frustration breakthrough. Right then and there, they'll see acknowledged. They'll feel validated. They'll feel heard. Now, here's the second step that is the make or break of all this. What is 2 words, 2 of the most favorite words of any entrepreneurs, attorneys in particular? Follow-up. You must have a follow-up meeting with the attorney afterwards. Great. I got everything that you said. I have it here. I hear you. And I'm going to put time on your calendar for us to meet again, and I'm going to come back to you. When there is a follow-up afterwards for anything, this is how to help your attorney and make your life easier, because you're going to leave that meeting after that powerful question. And I promise you, you're going to be super excited and you're going to feel confident and competent in what it's going to take to create those 2-millimeter shifts in the right direction for the attorney and the team, for everybody to be on the same playing field. If you need help with this, reach out to me and I'm happy to facilitate and give you the framework for you and attorney what to do with that list afterwards. So when we hop on that call, or maybe you're in the law firm admin boot camp, or maybe you don't have time for a call, which I hear all the time. All right, here's the deal. Maybe you're walking, driving, running, doing dishes, listening to this as you prepare documents, whatever it might be. When you have that list, so you're going to give space for the attorney. In fact, my recommendation is you implement these 2 steps consistently and persistently. Add them to the weekly team meeting. One of the things that we have members of the Law Firm Admin Bootcamp in the agenda for the weekly stakeholders meeting, level 10 meeting, whatever terminology resonates with you, there's a piece there that we talk about what did not work about this week, and then we end on a positive. What did work this week? We also instill that in the daily huddle when we do our military stand-up meeting, where we're looking at what didn't work about yesterday. The reason being, it's the same flip of the script on the question of what is it that you're not seeing or you want to see more of to give you full faith and confidence that your team, that your employees, that your outsourced vendors, that your virtual assistants, whatever it might be, that you have full faith and confidence that we know what's going on and you can let go and trust. What did not work about last week? What did not work about yesterday? And the weekly stakeholder meeting or the daily huddle is the same question. It's just asking that in real time and systematizing it and standardizing it. Here's a rule I tell people in the Law Firm Admin Bootcamp. Everybody needs to have something that did not work about yesterday. Everybody needs to have something that didn't work about last week. And here's why. There's a terminology that a lot of big businesses will use called the Kaizen method. That's a Japanese term, and there is no English translation for that. And the closest that comes is continual improvement. So businesses love lean logistics. They love the Six Sigma. They love all these buzzy, fancy terms that people pay hundreds of thousands of dollars to implement for continual improvement, for process improvement, for system improvement. My goal is to save you time, money, frustration on all that and implement it today. And it's really looking at what did not work because this is continual improvement. It did not work that there were no backup toner in the supply room yesterday, and we ran out of ink, so we had to pull out the toner and shake the toner and put it back and try to get 100 pages out of it or what have you. And that wasn't great because I walk into this meeting where I'm going to close a $25,000 client. I have ink on my hand, what have you. That is significant. It does not work that it takes 19 minutes for my computer to boot up every morning because it's, 10 years old, 20 years old, what have you. When I hear an attorney, or if I'm an attorney or I'm a team leader and I hear that, I'm like, my gosh, go get a new computer. You all know about Rhea. Rhea is my VA. She is a rock star. She's in the Philippines. She works for me full time, what have you. I have her just like in the Law Firm Admin Bootcamp where we do time tracking every single day, which helps us to build time chunking on our time templates, which helps us to take our job descriptions and put them into action, which helps with building our quarterly employee growth plans that help with quarterly review, so it's not on the attorney's back where they feel backed against the wall to give raises and bonuses. Rhea tracks her, she's going through the program with you all. Rhea tracks her time every single week or every day. And she sends me it's called, end of day report. You all know we talked about the daily progress report in Law Firm Admin Bootcamp. And I'm looking at her time like, wait a minute. Why in the world is it taking her 4 hours to do this pocket coaching that we have? It's a new thing that we implemented within our, client nurture sequence, etc. My next day, I'm like, Rhea, why is this taking you 4 hours? And then I'm looking at other activities. I'm like, there's no way this should have taken 20 minutes. It should have taken 5 minutes. I find out that she has a very, very old computer. I'm like, Rhea, your goal is to research. Go figure out what type of computer you want, what type of memory you want. She goes, I already have it. I've been saving my money for this. I'm like, okay, great. How much is this thing going to cost? $2,100. Like, Rhea, let's do the math of the things that you have on the Trello board of what you can't get to because It's taking you 4 hours to do something that really should take you about an hour. It's taking you 20 minutes to do something that really should take you about 5 minutes to do. Do you think that it would be in my best interest to buy you this computer right now? What would be the return on investment for me as an entrepreneur? What would be the return on investment for you? Because it's not just about the time, it's about the frustration and energy that you are taking to put into this activity, and it's sucking the life out of you. Is this not exhausting for you? Is this not frustrating as hell for you? She giggles. I'm like, Rhea, we're buying the computer right now. Literally in a pile of tears. You would have thought that I just handed her, the pink Cadillac for selling the most Mary Kay or whatever it is. No, she was over the moon. And the return on investment for me, the next day, the energy that she showed up with, she's like, okay, great. Now, what do you think if we do this? What do you think if we change that? I notice blah, blah, blah. When you have a team member, or a team member, if this is you listening to this, when you have the permission and the confidence and you have the framework to come in and say, I notice X, Y, and Z, that's music to an entrepreneur's ear. We're like, wow, you're committed, you're invested, you're aware, you're awake, and you're actually thinking about the business as a whole and the impact on this one thing. So when we talk about what doesn't work, employees, it's so hard for me to get you to come with nothing. No, everything's great. It's unicorns and sunshines and pancakes here 24/7. You're not being complaining. So often employees will start a sentence. They'll raise their hand and they'll say, I don't mean to complain. No, let's take that off the table. We are an empowered, engaged team. We have upfront conversations in real time. We are not negative Nancy's. We are not a bunch of Debbie Downers. We do not complain. I'm giving you the information for consistent improvement for the client experience. So however you have to gamify and shift this for yourself, if you're an employee, you're not complaining about your job. You're not complaining about your workload. That's not even how it lands for your business owner, for your boss, for your attorney, or what have you. When you think about the impact on the client, which ultimately pays all of our checks, which is the ultimate check writer. So when you think about the impact on the client, because if we're feeling it here between our business walls, you better believe the client's feeling it in some way. They might not have the language to name it that way. So everybody comes with what doesn't work. What didn't work about today? What didn't work about last week? And then again, what did work? Something, it might be that the attorney is like, I didn't have a glass of water. I was in back-to-back meetings. I went late on every single meeting. And it's not about the file. Maybe you all did your jobs beautifully. Everything went swimmingly in the client experience. But at the end of the day, the attorney's exhausted. They're dying of thirst. They have a pounding headache. Their blood sugar just plummeted. What didn't work is I didn't eat. I didn't have any water or what have you. And I really felt that by my third meeting, I didn't show up as powerfully. And I really believe that's why the client didn't hire us. I was watching it. It was 15 minutes into the meeting. I was exhausted, my blood sugar, and the only thing I could think about was peeing and getting a drink of water and finding a scrap of an apple somewhere. And it impacted. That's why we didn't get hired, gang. The attorney's not complaining, not blaming, pointing fingers, and what have you. You guys are like, okay, game on. Thank you for that information. Listen, I'm going to call that prospect. I'm going to follow up with them, and I'm going to figure out blah, blah, blah. I'm going to re-engage them, what have you. Maybe we'll bring them in for a second meeting. Number 2, Susie, make sure that we have this process for food, for water, for what have you. Number 3, this is really great information. Okay, when I just went through that took about 10, 20 seconds. Imagine walking off that daily huddle. Imagine walking off that weekly team meeting as the attorney. You're like, you feel like you just won the lottery. You are so excited because you were able to communicate that with the team. Nobody had excuses or what have you. You didn't get the deer in the headlight look. It wasn't like, well, that's not our problem. You better pack better. You better, put water in your briefcase. No, it was like, holy moly. We see the impact on you, the client, etc. And then you're going to walk out of that meeting all fired up and frustrated. And we are going to be the beneficiaries of that. And that's why you're always grouchy and crabby. Like, no, this is liquid gold information. So as much as you can keep this alive and well and follow up on it, because it's one thing if the attorney shares it and you all have this really quick meeting, again, 20, 30 seconds in the example I just mocked there for y'all, and then you actually follow up with it. Somebody is running that daily huddle, not the attorney. At the end, we're debriefing and clarifying. Okay, really quick. Susie, you're going to work on the food and the water and what have you. Joni, you're going to work on making certain that we end the meeting 5 minutes before. Our meetings are no longer 60 minutes or actually 50 minutes, just like therapists do. They get away with it. So we're going to do that too. We're going to implement that. Then we have a 10-minute buffer at the 10-minute, and then attorney, this is what I want you to do. And then salesperson, call and follow up. There's 4 action items. We clarified, we verified. We were really clear. And guess what? The attorney walked away with nothing else to do. They did not have to do it. Somebody else is managing it. Someone else is following up on it. And then we're declaring, okay, great. We are going to give you an update by either tomorrow's daily huddle or give us the rest of the week to flesh this out. The team, we're going to all meet. I'm ordering pizzas. We're going to have a meeting. We're eating lunch together tomorrow, gang. And let's just whiteboard this. Again, the attorney's not in that meeting. The attorney's doing nothing. They're not driving. They're not training. They're not systematizing. Nada. And we're going to give you an update in Monday's stakeholders meeting, level 10 meeting, whatever works for you. And we're going to give you an update on that. And then again, as you navigate your week, attorney, keep paying attention to what other areas you want to throw at that and bring it tomorrow to the what's not working. Imagine that. Just sit and pause in that whole scenario. We have hit so many areas of the practice. We have hit departments. We have hit process. We have hit every area in regards in that 30-second clip of what did not work about yesterday. Can you imagine? I hope you can, because hell yes, it's possible. It is 4,000% possible. Here's the deal. You just have to keep showing up to the meetings. Get your weekly stakeholder meeting in your calendar. No hell or high water do you abandon and ditch this. Anybody. Agenda, managed, led, and facilitated not by the attorney, a team member. I don't care if it's just you and the attorney and you're just a receptionist. Get started on this. And then the daily huddle. Show up for it. It's okay if you guys are driving and commuting and dropping kids off and what have you. Don't turn it into something that's super heavy and hard. Doesn't matter if you have your Philippines person that's showing up at 1 o'clock in the morning their time. Rhea gladly does it because she gets the information and data that she needs to do her job and to grow in her future growth plans. So no excuses. One of my favorite sayings is that their excuses and reasons are the cemetery for your dreams. So stop walking around suffering in silence. Share what's not working. Embrace what's not working. Be able to get comfortable with it in a place, not shame, blame, and weaponizing, but for a place for you all to reach and have the practice and the life of your dreams.
We've reached the end of yet another episode of the Hire and Empower with Molly McGrath podcast, where dream teams of entrepreneurs in an entrepreneur's world really do come true. Listen, whether you're a business owner, employee, executive, or hiring manager, we fully understand hiring, onboarding, and leadership is expensive, exhausting, often overwhelming, and absolutely time-consuming for the already taxed professional. Well, we have your back on all fronts. For 25 years and counting, we have transformed over 4,000 law firm teams into the most efficient, resourceful, and profitable asset of your business. Check out our Smart Hire solution, our employee leadership program, and the 66-day law firm turnaround at hiringandempowering.com.